Hi there, I'm Kevin with Buffer. I'm excited to share part one of how to build a social media strategy and plan. And part one covers a few of the getting started elements of building this social media strategy. And step one is this idea of what do you end up sharing on social media? What is the overall theme of your strategy? And we have kind of a cool Venn diagram that we put together. We use this at Buffer for determining the things that we personally enjoy contributing to the Buffer team. And within the Venn diagram, it's three different parts. It's what you enjoy, it's what you're good at, and it's what your audience needs. For Buffer, we tend to say what Buffer needs for the moment. So to get a little deeper into this, what you enjoy, I'm happy to share kind of how I've approached each of these three things, in case it triggers anything for you or any thoughts from your side. What you enjoy, I typically will look over into the tools that I use and the content that I read online, and I can notice certain themes within the content that I read and enjoy, and kind of to extrapolate those themes into what I might enjoy sharing in social media as well. It tends to be the case that I often will share and save different writing articles and marketing materials. So this is my pocket list of kind of the stuff that I've grabbed so far, and lots of different stuff in here. I'll see stuff about writing, I'll see stuff about marketing, I'll see stuff about tools and ideas, creativity, different things like that. And also take a closer look into my favorites to see the stuff that I have starred as articles that I really enjoyed. A lot of it is about, here's about writing, this one is about copywriting, some publishing and tools and marketing ideas also. So that kind of formed the basis for what I enjoy reading about. I can also take a look over at this other tool that I use. It's called saved.io. It is a bookmarking tool that lets me capture different sites that I want to come back to later. A lot of these sites also tend to be a lot about tools and working smarter, not harder. A lot of stuff about content marketing and writing as well. So with kind of these two data points, my pocket feed and the bookmarks that I tend to grab, I'm able to see how I tend to spend my time online anyway. And correlating that back to a social media strategy is really cool, because if you're already doing these things online, it figures to make sense that you'll continue to enjoy doing them even as they're part of a social media strategy. The second part, what you're good at, this one's a bit more, I guess it's a bit more of a theoretical thing, where hopefully you're good at the things you enjoy to a certain degree. I have the lucky privilege to be able to write for the Buffer blog, so I tend to enjoy writing, and then I also tend to have a chance to practice it and improve and get better at it too. So this one hopefully fits along with some of the things that you enjoy. People love to hear from experts, so it's great if those two things mesh. And the third one is seeing what your audience needs. And this one is one that we've found some cool ways to discover what the audience needs in terms of looking at our Buffer queues and what we tend to share online. So if you have a little history of sharing, you can come into your Buffer queue here, click over into the Analytics tab, and this is a list of all the posts that I've shared recently on Twitter. What I might end up doing here is to sort these by most clicks, and I'll expand this to the past 90 days. And then looking through the content here, I can see which articles resonated the most with the people that follow me on Twitter, so I can kind of see what my audience needs to a certain degree. And just looking through here, this one is about blog posts, this one is about content marketing, this one here is about marketing, and a few more kind of trickle down through the list here, a lot about content marketing and writing. So that kind of covers the third element, what my audience needs. And at this intersection then would be writing and content marketing. So that's kind of how I've focused my social media moving forward. Step 2 on the list here is to create a consistent schedule. And with this, we often kind of rely on our Buffer queues for help here as well. So here we are on the Analytics tab. I'm going to click over to the Schedule tab. I currently share 3 times every weekday to Twitter, and I've been doing this for a couple years, and I've definitely experimented with the frequency to a certain degree and also with the specific timing throughout the day. But the key for me has been to be that consistent presence on a social network where I am sharing things every day, every weekday for a long period of time. Buffer makes it really easy, where you can just set your schedule ahead of time and continue adding content into your queue so that it's always full of new stuff. So currently over in my content tab, Buffer tells me I have 55 posts scheduled, so that will get me through almost 3 weeks worth of of different stuff, so I can see kind of all the stuff I have listed here in my queue. One way that I found to add quickly to my buffer queue is with the browser extension, and also with a tool called Bulk Buffer. It's bulkbuffer.com, and you can upload a CSV, so a spreadsheet of different tweets and things that you might want to include with your buffer account. One thing in light of kind of having this queue built up of scheduled posts, there may be stuff that comes up on kind of a daily basis, a real-time basis that you might want to share right away. So for instance, I'm here on theverge.com and I see this cool story about James Bond things, and if I want to share this one soon and not put it at the end of my queue to show up 3 weeks from now, when I go to buffer the page through the extension, I can share this in a couple different ways. I can add it to the queue where it would go to the back of my queue. I can share it next, so it'll go to the top of my queue and share whatever my next window is to share. Or I can share it immediately and it would go out right now. And so those are a couple ways to kind of work around having a consistent schedule where you have a backlog of great content to share, and also sharing in real time. The third part to this social media plan is finding a sharing system that works for you. And we have a cool blog post just about this topic. It is, I'll scroll back to the top here, how to schedule social media content for next week, next month, and next year. And within this blog post is a section about content rules and ratios. And people have done some really amazing legwork to kind of figure out some cool ratios that might work. There's one called the 411 system, which is 4 pieces of relevant original content, and then 1 retweet or self-serving update that you might do as well. There's one called the 532 method, which is 5 pieces of content from others, 3 from you, and then 2 can be kind of more of the self-serving personal updates. And the list kind of goes on, lots of different ways of thinking about the content that you share to social media. One method that our co-founder at Buffer, Joel, has come up with is thinking about the different types of updates that you post. So if you think of the 5 basic types of updates would be links, images, quotes, reshares, and then kind of the plain text updates. And what Joel has found to be a really great system for him is to choose a staple update. So out of those 5, which one type of update will represent kind of the majority of the stuff you share. And then with that staple update, for every 5 updates you share, 4 of those updates would be a staple update, and the other 1 would be a variety of something from the remaining batch. So for instance, if you were to choose photos as your staple, for every 5 tweets you share, 4 of them would be photos, and then the other 1 could be a retweet, a quote, a plain text update, just a simple link, different things like that. To check this out in my personal buffer queue, if I hop over here at my content tab, I can see already I have a picture, a picture, a picture, and a picture. It seems like pictures might be my staple update. Then mixing it in here with the link. And then again, picture, picture, and link. So kind of overall, I've built this system of mostly pictures with links sprinkled in every now and then. You can also see from your Analytics tab, if you click on Analysis, down here under the type, it will show you different types of tweets or updates that you've sent recently. And I've been a bit worse at getting the proper ratio down here, a bit more links than pictures recently. But this is a cool way of kind of checking in too to see how that ratio has gone for you over time. So that's kind of the good getting started guide to building a social media plan. I'd love to follow up with another video on how to do the last 3 steps of the plan, kind of the analytics and follow-up and growth side. So thanks so much for tuning in for this one. I would love to chat with you next. If there's any questions that come up in the meantime, you can reach us anytime at hello@buffer.com via email or on Twitter @buffer. Thanks so much, everyone. Chat with you soon.